"You're not allowed here." That's the very first thing my wife heard when she stepped out of the car, still in uniform, still carrying the weight of a 7-month deployment on her shoulders. And the voice, you guessed it, belonged to our neighborhood's self-declared queen of everything, Karen. You ever have one of those moments where the world seems to slow down and you just know, deep down, something outrageous is about to go down? Yeah, that was me right there by the window, watching my wife, Lieutenant Commander Rachel Dawson, set foot on American soil for the first time in 7 long months. And all I could think was, you've got to be kidding me. Let me set the stage, because honestly, if I didn't live through it, I'm not sure I'd believe it myself. Our street's the kind of place where the grass is a little too green, fences are a little too white, and there's always that one person who thinks the HOA rules were handed down on stone tablets. My wife Rachel had just gotten home from serving on the USS Truman, the aircraft carrier. My kids and we'd spent weeks making those goofy welcome home signs, scrubbing the house top to bottom, even cooked up her favorite dinner. I wanted everything perfect for when she got home, right? So at 2:05 sharp, this black Navy-issued SUV rolls up, and there's Rachel stepping out. Boots, dusty metals, glinting smile, brighter than I'd seen in months, and before I can even get the door open, it starts. I hear this shrill voice, and there's Karen storming across her lawn with a phone in her hand like she's the sheriff and judge all rolled into one. "You can't just park a military vehicle here. This is private property." She's yelling loud enough for the whole block to hear. Rachel just stands there trying to get her sea legs under her. Still half in deployment mode, you know what I mean? She says polite. "As you please, ma'am. I live here. I'm just getting home from deployment." Karen. She's having none of it. "I don't care if you're the president. You're not allowed to bring unauthorized vehicles into this neighborhood. That's HOA code 6 point something. The woman actually quoted a code that doesn't even exist. And I swear if looks could kill, I'd have been toast right then and there. Now, before I can say a word, Karen whips out her phone, snaps pictures of Rachel of the SUV, and get this, calls the cops. "Yes, I'd like to report a suspicious person in a military uniform trespassing in my neighborhood." She's practically shouting into the phone, making sure the whole world knows she's the hero here. My jaw was on the floor, but Rachel, God bless her, stood tall, didn't even flinch. 2 squad cars show up a few minutes later, no sirens, just lights. By then, a bunch of neighbors had started trickling out, some in pajamas, some pretending to water their lawns just to watch. The cops step out. One looks like he's seen it all, the other's young, still got that fresh out of the academy haircut. Karen meets them at the curb, points at Rachel like she's on Judge Judy. That's her. She's impersonating a service member and trespassing. That's a federal crime, right? The old cop, stone-faced, walks up and asks Rachel for her ID. Cool as ever, she hands over her Navy card, and the young cop reads it out. "Lieutenant Commander Rachel Dawson, United States Navy." Suddenly, the whole street goes silent like someone hit the mute button. "Where are you coming from, Commander?" the older cop asks. Rachel says, "USS Truman just got back to Norfolk this morning." He nods, studies her. And then this is where it gets good, turns to Karen and says, "Ma'am, she's not impersonating anyone. She's a commissioned officer." You could see Karen's face twist, but she wasn't about to give up. "Well, she's parked illegally, and you can't have military activity in a civilian neighborhood. It's in our bylaws." The cop asks whose car it is. Rachel explains it's a Navy SUV authorized for her transport that day, totally legit. The old cop radios it in, checks everything out. Meanwhile, the young cop sidles up to me and asks, "Is this normal around here?" I just shake my head. Karen thinks she's the sheriff. Last week, she tried to write me up for having a Halloween wreath in June. He laughs, says, "She sounds like my aunt." After a few more tense minutes, dispatch confirms Rachel's story, and the old cop walks over, shakes Rachel's hand, says, "Ma'am, thank you for your service. Welcome home." Karen. She's livid. "You're just going to let her go. What about our HOA rules?" That's when the young cop hits her with, "Do you have written orders from a recognized legal authority?" Karen, stunned, blinks, tries to mumble something. "Well, he says she's got hers from the United States Navy." "Do you?" And you could almost hear a pin drop. Suddenly, a couple neighbors start clapping, and this guy across the street yells, "Hey, Karen, Maybe next time thank her instead of calling the cops. The cops leave apologizing to Rachel, and Karen storms off muttering about lawsuits and bylaws like a wet cat. Over the next week, the neighborhood just wraps around us. People bring over casseroles, drop off flowers. Even a couple old-timers from World War II come by with a handshake and a welcome home commander. Rachel just laughs it off. She says, "I've faced worse than Karen. At least no one fired missiles at me, but honestly, it stung." And just when we thought it was over, 3 days later, an official complaint letter from the HOA shows up, signed, of course, by Karen. Charges: unauthorized vehicle, excessive uniform display. I kid you not, and disturbing neighborhood aesthetic. Apparently Rachel being in uniform on our own driveway is a code violation now. We laughed, but Rachel wasn't about to let it go. She put together a formal complaint, added all her Navy paperwork, and sent it to the HOA board. Now here's the twist I didn't see coming. Turns out the rest of the board was just as sick of Karen's nonsense as we were. Next meeting, Karen gets voted out unanimously, and in her place they bring in a retired Air Force colonel who stands up, shakes Rachel's hand, and says, "We honor service here." Period. I mean, I almost clapped myself. So here's the real story, the one under all the noise. Karen tried to turn a set of HOA rules and even the cops into her personal power trip just because she couldn't stand not being in control. But what she didn't count on was how strong a community gets when someone tries to stomp on one of their own, especially someone who's served. My wife didn't come home to a parade, but she damn sure didn't deserve to be treated like a criminal. People showed up, the truth showed up, and karma, well, she showed up too. If you've got a Karen in your life, the kind of person who weaponizes rules, calls the cops at the drop of a hat, thrives on making everyone else miserable, here's my advice: stand your ground. People like that only have as much power as you let them. They'll twist regulations, stir up drama, but the thing is, real strength isn't about control. It's about knowing you're right and not backing down when you haven't done anything wrong. Folks who serve this country, who miss birthdays, holidays, a year's worth of home-cooked meals and hugs from their kids, don't come home expecting confetti. They just want normalcy. They want peace. What they absolutely don't deserve is to be made to feel like outsiders in their own neighborhoods. So to every service member out there, past and present, we see you. We may not always understand what you've been through, but we respect you. You've held the line so the rest of us could live in peace, and that counts for something. And to every family holding it down at home, spouses, kids, parents, you're heroes too in your own way. Bottom line, whether you're coming home to a busy city, a sleepy suburb, or a little cul-de-sac like ours, you should be welcomed, not questioned, thanked, not interrogated. And if anyone tries to treat you otherwise, Karen a clipboard, a bylaw warrior, know that you're not alone. Communities are changing, people are waking up, and together we can replace ignorance with respect, suspicion with gratitude, and fear with truth. Hey, if you made it this far, I'd love to know what you think was the HOA, right? Was Karen out of line, or am I just another neighbor stirring the pot? Drop a comment, share your take, and let's talk about what real community and real justice should look like.